Time is more valuable than money. You can get more money, but you cannot get more time. Jim Rohn. And my friends, that's the one thing that you have to commit to what we do each and every day. The way the market opens its secrets up to you is you being engaged in the market each and every day. And we only ask 10 to 15 minutes. If you will do this, follow the markets with us, you will learn how it works. And it doesn't cost you anything but the most valuable thing you have. That is your time. Let's jump into these charts. We see stocks and bonds down, gold and Bitcoin up. Nothing's moving a whole lot. We see the S&P 500 down 0.85%. And as we look at this half-day chart, we can see we're now for about a day and a half. Things have peaked out and we ended the day with a green spinning top. Indecision, the STC has topped out. Now it could go sideways and keep moving up some, but it's just about to the top. Could it cross over going down? It could. We'll wait, watch, and see as we get further into this week. The 2-day moving right up there to the 200 EMA. It's green also. Will it rotate over and head down? That is possible. What do we see about the weekly chart? Well, as we move this up a little bit, you can see that we bounced off that as we hit it 2 times in a row. The week beginning the 26th of September and then on the 10th of October. And then things turned around and started heading up. As we look how the weeks are moving, we can of course see that during the course of the day in this new week, we did hit a higher high than last week. And these are Heiken Ashi candlesticks, so these are a little different than what you're used to. If you haven't taken our Heiken Ashi training, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put it at the end of today's video for you so that you can experience it. It is the most popular training we've ever put out. Several 100,000 people have taken it. You'll like it too. If you hadn't taken it in a while, refresh yourself. It's great to understand how Heiken Ashi candlesticks work. They are different than the typical Japanese candlestick, high, open, low, close. As I've been told, Heiken Ashi means average pace, and that's what it helps you to see. So where are we now? Well, we are seeing things on the shortest term chart. We have a green. Again, we're positive green. We're 15 on the success multiplier formula. So we're going to be watching, waiting and seeing if this move is just ending, if things are going to roll back a little bit and maybe not pierce the 200 EMA and then pop up again on this half day, giving us an opportunity to jump into more up moves, or is all of this coming to an end and things are going to go down? We don't know. We're waiting, watching, and seeing. Now let's move, which means we're not trading on the S&P 500 right now. What about the NASDAQ 100? It is below the 200 EMA. Remember, the NASDAQ has been more negative than the S&P, and it hasn't pushed higher than that 200 EMA. We're positive on the STC, so that's a +1 on this half-day chart when it comes to the success multiplier formula 2-day. We're also green there, and again, reaching a little bit higher high when we look at where we are on the 200 EMA. You can see that we are well below it on the 2-day chart. Like I said, NASDAQ has been much more negative than the S&P. We look at the weekly just turning green. So again, pushing through also that 200 EMA. So we will pay attention to where these markets are going. Maybe we'll have, again, things roll over and head back down on the half-day chart, keeping in mind that we're green on those 2 bigger charts, the intermediate 2-day and the long-term weekly chart. So again, all things being equal, the market tends to move in what direction? The direction of your largest chart, your biggest wave. Think about the ocean. You have little ripples and all, but when you have big, strong swells pushing through, that's what pushes the movement in the water. That's what creates the big waves. So again, we're paying attention to what's going on at all 3 levels, waiting to see what's going to happen with the NASDAQ 100. Now let's move on from stocks to bonds. Bonds down just a little bit, 0.25% for the day. Bonds, of course, are very, very negative. I'm just going to have to tighten up the price band for you to see it. Well below the 200 EMA. Green on the half-day chart. We do see red candles that have been forming, and we will wait, watch, and see if that STC goes to red anytime soon. 2-day is positive, and again, just like the half-day, 2-day is well into the negative as far as below the 200 EMA. But that STC is moving up in green candles, not reaching a higher high on this latest one. We look at the weekly chart, and of course, we're still well below the 200 EMA, but we do have a green candle trying to form. Now, I know it was down for the day. Heikin Ashi's calculated differently. That's what you'll learn from that training and learn about how to use that information and read it. STC also is still negative, which is important. So let's move on from bonds to gold. We'll start, as we always do, with the half-day chart. Of course, over the course of this last week, we pushed through that 200 EMA. If we're going to do an up move, we need the STC to reset for us. That is, we need it to go from red to green, pass through this center area here, and then move back up. We're looking for a long trend right now, a going long, buying gold in our practice trade because we're above the 200 EMA. If it moves below the 200 EMA, then we'd be back into the negative territory, shorting gold. Again, up for the day, 0.22%. We look at this 2-day chart. It's pushing up to it, but hasn't topped yet, hasn't pushed through the 200 EMA. We're green on the STC and green candles. We look at the weekly chart, and of course, over the course of the last 2 weeks, it's pushed up and through the 200 EMA. So we are waiting, we're ready, we're eager for things to reset on this half-day chart so we can jump in to a potential long gold trade if that's what happens. Now, Bitcoin, smoked last week. You can see the 2 catastrophically down days, and of course popped up a little bit on Thursday and then hammered back down on Friday and Monday, just again up a little bit, 0.64%. But again, went from hoping we would have things bottoming out at about 1820 or so, and then just killed it. I mean, what was our low for the day? 1563. It's a far cry from 1820 to 1563. 1820, 1563. Boom. Not pretty. Where are we on the 2-day? Of course, hammering down candles. I mean, now what are we trying to hope for? A bottom somewhere around the 1561. Who knows how low it will go? What about the weekly? Again, we see all that vast down movement last week and this week as far as the Heikin Ashi candlesticks. It's tough. STC is up, but with all this down movement and the kind of volatility we got here, hard to see much of anything. Waiting for Bitcoin to bottom out. Same with the whole crypto market. Bitcoin is the big daddy. When it finally settles out and starts to move up with some consistency, then we'll be looking at something. But right now, we got nothing for you. That's where we are, folks, as we end the day. We so appreciate you being with us. We always love to hear from you. CW@chartingwealth.com. We appreciate all our Patreon supporters. God bless, my friends. All the best from the whole team at Charting Wealth, World Headquarters.